So recently on one of my live streams, somebody had joined the stream and asked me, Toon, why do you do these burst modes? How many stones do you get from them? And I answered, you can get up to over 40 dragon stones if you do all 4 of the burst modes that are currently available. And he said, wow, if I had not asked you that, I would not have known. I'm gonna go do these because I never think to do them. And that's mainly the reason why I'm making this video, because I am not surprised that a lot of people just don't care about burst mode, because in general, it can be annoying for some if you don't care about the extra grind revisiting older events. The stone payout might be a little bit low for some people to put in the effort, but given just the bare minimum work that you need to do, I don't think it's worth skipping. I think it's a good amount to receive. I want to clarify on some things about burst mode, and then I also want to talk about the strategy behind all of them. And then I will also include a little bit of footage from my run where I cleared this first one, because the first burst mode, the Gohan one, that's just your typical run-of-the-mill burst mode. The other 3 are revisits from previous burst modes. So the stone potential that you can earn from them entirely depends on if you did it the first time. If you beat these 3 burst modes the first time, you're not getting those 9 stones that each of them gave you initially. You're only getting the add-on. So let's talk about that first, then we'll talk about the strategy on these 3, and then we'll go into the Gohan burst mode. The due date, or the end date, is shown right here. So burst mode for Gohan is available for another, what is it, the 23rd that I'm posting this? So another like week and a half, this will be around. The other 3 will be around until the 9th. So you've still got plenty of time. And I say this because if you are one of those people, I guess there's not too many of y'all who are super hardcore about burst mode who watch my videos, but if you are someone who is very hardcore about burst mode, just know these are really tough. And you're going to need all the time that you can get. So the 9th of December is a very generous time for you guys to spend planning, trying to, you know, put in the few hours to get it done. It will take a while. Some of these take a long time. One of them took so long, I fell asleep. I fell asleep trying to do it. And then I remember I woke up the next morning. It was like World Tournament. I tried to do it. I died like seconds later. So yeah, it's really annoying. So anyway, let's go over the stone count first. Let's talk about that. And then we'll go into strategy and all that. Okay. So when it comes to any old burst mode, the number is 9. You get up to 9 stones for clearing all missions on a burst mode. Burst mode is an event where you can increase the difficulty of an event based on the modifiers that you yourself decide to add on to the event. You can turn any mundane Dokkan event into the toughest red zone you've ever seen. That's the premise behind burst mode, and honestly, I like it. The more points you earn, the more modifiers you add on, the more points you earn. With those points, you earn burst coins at the end of the season. Those burst coins can be used in this profile in the shop down here to buy songs. You can buy whatever song you want from the albums available, and then you can equip them to your main menu, to various teams and whatnot. A customization feature that I've seen more and more people say that they actually enjoy. I personally don't care about it too much, but now that I'm in the spirit of just 100%ing everything, I'm trying to buy every song available. In order to do that, you have to not only get burst coins, you want to try to go above and beyond. You want to try to score higher than your base 6,000 so you can get extra burst coins so that you can buy more of these songs. Some of them cost 1,000 points, some of them cost 3,000. How much is this one? This one costs 3,000. So it can add up if you're trying to buy everything. Of course, you don't have to buy it all, it just depends on what you want. And then with the missions that they offer, those are burst coin silvers that you can get. Burst coin silvers can then be used to buy, actually I can show you right here. You can use the burst coin silvers to buy equips from the Baba shop, and those equips will have to do with the categories involved in the missions surrounding those burst modes. So for example, the Gohan burst mode requires Heavenly Event and Revenge. So those 2 categories will now see some nice equips available in the Baba shop, which you can use with those burst coin silvers. They added this because a lot of people, they realized a lot of people initially didn't care about the customization aspect, and they, you know, that's still true. This is a much more useful way to go about doing burst mode. So yeah, there is reason to do this. There is incentive to do this besides the stones. Just want to point that out for those people who didn't know. So let's go back to the stone count. If you've already done the other 3 burst modes the first time around when they came out, you are not able to earn those missions again. So if you haven't done them, you can earn 12 from each of these, because these 3 revisits have 3 extra dragon stones being tacked on here. The standard maximum score required is 6,000. They've added 6,500, 7,000, and 7,500 for this red zone. And then they've added, I think, like 8,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 for the other ones. Yeah. So they've added 3 more dragon stones. So on top of the base 9, you're getting 3 more from each. So between these 3, if you haven't done them before, that's 36 stones. If you have done them before, you can earn up to 9 stones from doing these. 9 stones going for 9,000 points, I think is worth the effort. If you make the score higher, like 12,000, I don't think it's worth the effort because it will take a very long time to clear the event. And that is something that I did and I regret to an extent because it took a lot of time. A lot of time that I could have spent doing the Peton battle farming stuff. But anyway, 9 from, what the heck? Why is it not? Okay. So 9 from these if you're a vet, 36 from these if you have not done these, and then plus the 9 from this one. So depending on who you are, you could get 45 dragon stones or you could get 18 dragon stones. Still worth it, in my opinion. So now let's go over the strategy behind it. If you guys want, you could just go check out my other videos for the other burst modes. I'm pretty sure I've done ones for all of them. So I'll try to find those and link them in the description. But for now, I just want to go over the strategy behind my scores. So I guess we'll start with this blue dude's one from GDC. The score that I got was 12,300. This one was the easiest. So I feel like people can do this if they really want to, but I will say it takes a very, very long time. In fact, I think it took me like 2.5 hours. I mean, I'm just looking up the time I screen capped it. Yeah, it took me 2 hours. Wait, 2 days? No, 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours, 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's how long it took me. So let me just slowly show you guys what I did. This is the new modifier right here. So they're adding on 400% attack and defense, 1000% HP, 10% damage reduction. If you choose the super class route, then the HP goes up, because usually when you're fighting the same class of enemies, they want to just, well, actually, wait, this is against Goku. I'm surprised they made the super class one with more HP. That's surprising. Anyway, these are 2 extra modifiers that they tacked on. They also threw on some extra categories here. So let me just scroll through and show you guys what I did. This is what I did. 400 team cost. Yep, believe it or not, 400 team cost. You do not have to do all of this, by the way. Remember, if you're just trying to go for the base 9,000, you do not have to do all of this. So don't feel like you have to put yourself through all of this torture. I reduced the attack. I learned the hard way that maxing out the attack on this event on top of that 4,000 bonus is just impossible. I don't have the willpower to do it. Shout out to my French Dokkan tuber buddy, Kawhi. He is another person that I tend to compete with when we do these things. I just have zero desire to go beyond 12,000. I just don't. So there's my full spread for the points. If you want to, all you got to do, like if you don't know how to do this, just set up what I did and then just reduce all of the attack ones first, and then reduce maybe some of the defense ones just to make the enemy more squishy. The main concern is to lower the enemy's attack, because if he hits hard, then you'll probably die sooner. If you remove the attack from the equation, it'll take a while, but it'll still, you know, you'll be able to survive it consistently. So with 12,300, this is what I did. You need the manga character for this strategy, in my opinion, because otherwise, if you take this guy out, you don't have too many other options. You'd have to bring this dude, who is not a good unit besides the slot 1. So yeah, this guy is a very, actually, you know what? You could probably throw in this AGL Goku Black. But in my opinion, this guy is really, really good because he gets more defense with every attack received or dodged. So he doesn't necessarily have to be someone who is constantly on your rotations. Whenever you need him to, you can throw him wherever you need to, like, dodge a bunch of attacks. Either he dodges them or he just gets tanky from getting hit, and it will become a great source of heal factor for you. So double Omega Shenron plus this guy. If you summon during the Black Friday banner, then that will make this one a little bit more approachable for you. But yeah, the team cost was not an issue thanks to the free-to-play Goku Black Rose clones. Hopefully you guys have been farming those out. If you guys are new, Goku Black Rose clone army is the most important thing in Dokkan of all time. Every player in Dokkan should have a full maxed out free-to-play Goku Black Rose clone team. So all I did was I just stalled. I just took my sweet time and I had my Goku Black max out his stats. He gets a bunch of crit and a bunch of stats for getting hit. This guy gets a bunch of crit for getting hit. So in the first round, we just took it slow, took it easy. And the whole time, this guy was just stacking defense. So by the time we got to the final round, I think we won in 40 or 41 turns. This guy's defense was like 8 million defense before we even entered the attack phase. He would heal up everything. If I ever took any damage, he would heal it back up. And if I needed him to tank anything, he would do it, because with his defense insanely high and with the enemy's defense so low because of my point modifiers, he was the ultimate defense. He was the best part of this whole team. So there's your squad. If there's another team that also works at this point level or higher, feel free to share. That's all I got to say on this one. So now let's move on to the next burst mode, which was I'm gonna go to the Omega Shenron one. I'm gonna save the red zone for after this. Omega Shenron is another Dokkan event where the 9,000 point mission was there, and again, since I already did it before, I only had 3 stones to gain. Here is my setup for this one. I just decided to go for a flat 12,000. I chose Superclass, I chose Earth Protecting Heroes, I chose Bond of Parent and Child, I chose AGL STR, and then here's the rest of the spread. Again, same strategy. I had the point threshold higher, lowered it after trial and error, realizing just how out of my league I was, and I just did not want to deal with all the smoke. So I lowered his attack down to from 700% down to 100%. Pretty steep drop off. It was still scary at times, but early on, once you got the rotations all fixed, it was smooth sailing. So here's what we did. The main annoying thing about this mode is that the final stage, Omega Shenron locks your rotations. He can lock up to 1 or 2 characters, which is why I think you have to bring at least one of these guys, because the AGL 10th Anniversary Gogeta has the ability to clear negative effects. Not everyone on the rotation, but himself. So if he's locked in slot 3 and you don't want to lose him for a couple of turns, you could use the Gogeta transformation to do that. And that's actually what I did at a certain point in my run. But the name of the game here was stacking. Stacking and solidifying my rotations. So let me see. What was my squad? This was my squad. So what I did was I had Vegeta and I had Goku together. And then I had Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Goku together. I had this guy rotating off. Thankfully, these two both have 6 turn windows on their super attacks where they raise their stats. This guy is just getting stronger and stronger, and I always have his revive counter as an insurance policy. I never had to use it. And then this guy is actually very good for this event, because he has Earth Protecting Heroes as an ally because of the Vegeta. But then also he has 85% dodge, 90% damage reduction on his first hit. So he is a great stall no matter where he is. Even if he gets locked in slot 1, you won't have any problem. And I never did. Ultimately, I won with a Dokkan attack from LR Gogeta. I could have used this guy's revive counter to boost up my attack more, but if I did, the Hercule locked in slot 1 would have done it. But this was a very easy run. This one took me 1 try after I set up my proper score and I brought this squad. It took me 1 try to do it. And all these characters are old. They've been around for a while, so very approachable, very easy to do. I think if anything, the other event that I did with the blue dudes might be harder because some of y'all may not have that Omega Shenron, but you do not need to have the Omega Shenron rainbowed because we lowered the attack. So if you don't care about the number, lower the attack even more. If you've got a 55% Omega Shenron and you're like, Toon, I can't do this, lower the attack. Drop the attack more. You don't have to have it at my level. I was just showing you what I did. All right, so now that we did the 2 old Dokkan events, now let's review the burst mode, or the red zone. This one was not challenging when I also reduced the attack. So here's my setup: Earthbred Fighters, GT Heroes. You have to bring 1 of each type for super class or extreme class if you want. You could remove this if you don't really want to do that, but you need, I think, what is it, 75? I think 7,500 points is the required score. Let me see, for the maximum. Yeah, 7,500. So you probably will need that. So this is what I did. 500 team cost. Removed this one right here, the attack and defense. Buff 1. Removed all this. Normally, I would turn all these on, but I just didn't want to. I even removed the defense, mainly because I just wanted to end this on a round number. 8,300 looks nicer than 8,320. So I did all this. Feel free to copy this if you want. There we go. And there's the team that I used. Believe it or not, this guy was not a liability whatsoever. Why? Because the enemy's attack was so low. I always kept him in slot 3. Always. Remember, the final round against the Int Omega Shenron, he does have the Doomsday Clock mechanic where every other turn, he's launching his 50 megaton nuke in the slot 3. So as long as your slot 3 unit can intercept, this guy can tank it if he launches a couple supers. He also has the benefit of both of my AGL Super Saiyan 4s providing defense every time. So he's rocking an extra 50% defense. He's got damage reduction courtesy of this guy. Plus, we've got max links, good synergy. Saiyan Roar? Does he have Saiyan Roar? No, he doesn't. But he has great synergy. Plus, I've given him max dodge. He only dodged 1 attack, but he didn't even have to because he was able to tank that nuke. This guy dodged. I don't know if he could actually handle it, but he did dodge it. I think he can, though, because he's got... What's his damage reduction? Oh, he doesn't have damage reduction. I got lucky. Okay, 50% chance to dodge. plus the defense and the damage reduction, all that stuff, plus 20 dodge. Yeah, I got lucky there. Only these two ever intercepted the nuke. It ended basically in about 6 turns, with that 6th and final turn never having to actually go to the end. Because of all the stacking that we were able to do early, it was great. And because the attack was so low, even when units were locked slot 1 in the first round, it wasn't an issue because the enemy was just so incredibly weak. So yeah, again, don't like, bragging rights aside, lowering attack is the best thing you can do for burst mode. It'll still take a while, but it's way better. This one took me, let me see, for the red zone burst mode, it took me 38 minutes, and I was doing stuff the entire time, so it wasn't even an issue. So all right, so that clears all of the burst mode strategies involving the extra 3-point scores thing. Now let's talk about this one. So when it comes to, where's my music? Why'd you stop? Okay, so the Gohan burst mode event, you have to clear it twice because you have to clear this with each mission. So do your first run trying to get the 6,000 point score. Do the second one by removing all points and just choosing the other one. So for me and my 7,000 point score, this is what I did. Spoiler alert, it does involve the manga characters. I promise you, if you lower the points enough to where it reaches 6,000, you do not need the manga characters. You do not need anybody of significance. You can run this probably with a bunch of SSRs. So this is what I've done. If you guys want to copy it, by all means, feel free to do so. What's the benefit in getting 7,000 points? You get more coins to buy more songs. If you don't care about that, like I said, lower the points down. See how I chose this instead of this? I did that because I don't want the smoke. That extra attack, it's painful. This one I kept, although I could have gone without it. Had the defense maxed out, had the extra HP maxed out. You don't need to do all that. This is a challenge modifier, which means the challenge is a huge spike, but the points earned, very minuscule. You're doing it for the thrill of the challenge. You're not doing it for anything else. And then we got all these down here. We got the key -3, no items, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so this is the team that got it done. All of these characters are old, so you should have all of them, except for maybe the manga Piccolo. If you don't have the manga Piccolo at Rainbow, you'll still be fine because he gets stronger as he gets hit. As long as he is getting hit and he's launching attacks, he will be fine. Obviously, the room for error is the margin for error is narrower with fewer copies. Also, if you don't want to go for 7,000 points, you drop the points down. This will make 55%, 69% Piccolos much more usable. The way I did this is stacking the entire way through, keeping the Friezas out of the equation with 5 stackers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 plus another Bardock. You had to keep rotating one guy off. I usually tended to rotate off the LR Bardock, mainly because whenever he uses his active, he will get 318% defense. So if he doesn't stack enough, whenever he really has to tank, that extra 318% defense will be enough. The scary thing about this event is that the final round is a nuke. Like, he's got the Doomsday Clock nuke scenario. So every other turn, he's launching a cataclysmic attack. With my current setup, Frieza can tank. He tanks for about 390,000 damage, I believe. Who else was able to tank? This guy could not tank through trial and error. And the Bardock cannot tank. Even with a ton of stacking, this Easy A Bardock is not able to tank. Even with damage reduction up at 30%, because of this guy and this guy, we don't have enough tankiness to survive. So what I had to do is, in that final phase, I had to transform my Bardocks into Super Saiyans. When they go Super Saiyan, you have a 5-turn window where you've got extra damage reduction, you've got extra chances to dodge, and you've got some more combo power. So what I would basically do is I would throw them into slot 3, and I would have them combo enough so that they can tank the super. And so between my 2 transforming Bardocks and this Frieza, I think the final turn I also had to throw Piccolo in there. Oh, no. So yeah, we have 3 guys who can tank it. This guy with his active skill can also tank it. And then, worst case scenario, if you really, really have to, you can throw this guy in slot 3, but only if you are 100% sure that he has been stacking a lot up until that point. Because after 40 turns, don't put him there. He will probably die, because after 40 turns, you lose 40% damage reduction. I don't think I had to use this. You guys can see my final few turns on how I did it. But yeah, between those, you have enough stalling to get through it. You just have to win. So 1, 2, 3, 4... That's 4 times 2, 8. So at least 8 turns, maybe a 9th and a 10th is what I needed to clear this one. So I'm gonna show you guys how I did it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. But that's it. Do all these burst modes. Don't score as high. Make it easier on yourself. Get your 18 to 45 Dragon Stones and Dokkan responsibly. Okay, bye. Check this out. Okay, burst mode, 7,000 point run. Scary. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and use this. What does this do again? This gives me massively raised attack and causes colossal. All right, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so in order to use the Dokkan attack, I gotta probably give it to... I think I'm gonna give it to Bardock because he's got the colossal damage multiplier. Yeah. Only thing that sucks though is if I do this, Piccolo gets no gains this turn. If I bench him, he comes back on the final turn where he loses his mojo. And if I do this, we get legendary power. Which one gives us more? This one gives us shattering limit. Legendary power. I think I would rather prioritize gains. So I'm gonna do this. I want to maximize gains and I want to maximize damage output. So let's do this. And then we'll do this. We'll do this. All right. Time to lock in. We got this. Good dodge.
Time to get serious.
There's no shot. I just airball.
Gonna go all out.
That's all that did.
That's so little!
Oh, Piccolo becomes a bum in 3 turns. All right, so here we're gonna transform this dude. They lose the juice. Okay. So if I do... Okay, so if I do this... Oh, I gotta heal up. Okay, I gotta do this. It hurts, but we get it back. 94%. We took like 400 plus something last time, so we'll be fine. We can tank this, no problem. So let's do this. If we survive this turn, I think we win. Don't super. Thank you. Your little countdown. That's fine. Okay.
No!
One more. Now! Whoa! We might do it right now. Oh.
Can you do it?
Uh-huh. Oh, crap. One more. He tanked it so good.
Does that mean we win?
All right, we win. We win. Because I'm going to do this. Right? And then I'm going to do this. We win. We win.
Finish him.
Let's go! Let's go, dude! Nailed it! 7,000 points. I know we could probably go higher, but I'm not doing that, man. That's enough. That's enough for me, man. 7,000 points. Let's go.